lashes out, and it makes me fearful because when he lashes out, he sets up kidnappings by false arrest and put-outs.
You're scared.
Right.
You're very scared. So going back to the water, because
but I would like to go back to not covering for my abuser, like everywhere else that I'm at. And then you saw an email saying that the water supply would be poison, and then you smell that pungent odor, and you have a strategy on how to cover for that.
Now, it's obviously the water smell is affecting the whole entire campus facility.
Right. That's why something needs to be done because people are covering for others' safety being at risk.
You're right. It does need to be done. We need to try to fix the water.
They said that they were going to resolve the issue. That at first I was ignored, and then they said they would resolve the issue. But I would like to go on why everyone I come in contact with is covering for this man. That's what I wanted to be able to communicate and get to the bottom of why everyone.
So you're saying the man, the abuser, did this thing to the water.
I'm just saying that you don't find it as a case manager that you saw that email and then you're not doing your mandatory reporting, which is a crime, and you saw Jay Schubert got it and he covered for it. And I talked to people to 10 years, and everywhere I'm at is pathologically lying to conceal his abuse and crimes and be conspirators in it. And I'm telling you right now that I'm afraid because everywhere I'm at wants to be in cahoots with domestic abuse, which play mind games, pathologically lie, disregard my value and my importance, and try to rob me of validation of him violating me. To cover for him.
I don't know what APS is going to do with that. I can report it to APS, but
we've already went through this. You already said you would when you saw the emails, and then you said you didn't see them, and then you saw them again.
And I wasn't sure if APS. I wasn't. So I had to talk to my supervisor.
I'm not quite certain of why people have all these supervisors, and the supervisor appears to be my abuser. Everywhere I'm at has a supervisor, and I don't want my supervisor of supervising help that I never see. That's a criminal, and it's a violation of my rights.
That email was a verbal threat
to not only my safety but other safety.
Everybody
Jay Schubert covered.
Everybody here would be at risk. You're right. If he poisoned the water.
But everywhere I'm at, I don't want places strategizing to put me out in his abuse and being conspirators with his abuse. Okay. That anyone willing to do law enforcement can see what I have to endure on a daily basis everywhere I'm at. But everywhere I'm at also covers for everyone I come in contact with because I believe it's prearranged. Now the thing of it is trying to find a strategy on exposing that this repeatedly keeps happening to everywhere I'm at, to everyone I come in contact with. Why would churches, I'm sending them death threats, try to cover for them and slander and say that they didn't believe that they didn't really happen? And then when they got caught and being covering for crimes, they ignored me when I sent them the death threats. When I send people evidence, they just ignore me. That's the silent treatment is a form of abuse, and I repeatedly have to endure it. When I beg for my life, people ignore me and then add insult to injury and demand that I be mentally ill. All services that help me flee my abuser has to be mental health treatment. They blatantly lie about services, and the mental health treatment is abuse. Not validating someone's life being in jeopardy and covering for crimes that's abusive is a form of gaslighting and sociopath behavior. So if my sociopath stalker can enlist other parties to be sociopaths with him, that's highly abusive and criminal. But it's happened everywhere I'm at, and as a point is just trying to prove it. That everyone is being manipulated and controlled by this man that's a sociopath. And allowing him to continue to be a sociopath. And evidence of it is everywhere I'm at covers for him. And then some of them add insult to injury, take my freedom for him. At Salvation Army in Dallas, they were so crooked, they were in cahoots with police to take my freedom. They came from nowhere. I was just sitting somewhere. They came from nowhere, hauled me off, and wouldn't tell me why they were doing it. They said that I was blocking traffic, but it was a blatant lie because I was at the courtyard. The courtyard was nowhere near traffic at Salvation Army. So if places were so corrupt, that's a form of kidnapping. Those are criminal charges. I think that's a felony. And it was caught on camera footage. I had been at that courtyard. I love outdoors. I had been at that courtyard probably 3 or 4 hours. I go in briefly. They were terrorizing me inside. So I tried to hide from them. And this was the homeless part. They wouldn't let me know where near the domestic violence part. And everywhere I'm at does not give me services that everyone else gets, including them. And I have it uploaded. How they demand that I left social services and were rude and aggressive. They use intimidation, bullying, and threats to keep me from services. And that's a felony and a conspiracy. So nonetheless, I was just sitting there, had been there 3 or 4 hours. He didn't like something that I did on my phone. I assumed. And then police came from nowhere. 3 police handcuffed me. I had it recorded. They stole everything everything I had, shoes, jewelry, money, card, ID, social, everything I had, and left me in that madness. So they gave me these flimsy shoes that I can barely use that were hurting my foot, flip-flops that were cheap, like $1 or maybe 50 cents. That way I didn't have to go barefoot. I reported it to the police. They never investigated it. And then they were trying to set me up, pathologically lied, staff. Police were guarding me there, and they used to guard me at multiple different hospital stays. But I went through this hours, in fact, 10 years, and everywhere when I come in contact with covers for this man's crimes and the police department's crimes, and I'm just trying to prove it. So what do we have besides mental health treatment that you can give me for the crisis that you just witnessed?
I can give you the domestic crisis hotline number.
That doesn't help. So what you can do as my case manager, are you not willing to do your mandatory reporting even though that's a crime?
As I told you, I do not see, after what you told me, I don't see any evidence of you being abused right now. Those were things that happened in the past.
Well, we went over this. You saw this 2 days ago. You had scams for the death threats, and I've been at this 2 years. This is abusive, man. This is not therapy. You're not validating my situation. You're covering for it. This is a form of abuse.
It didn't really seem like it was abuse happening.
That I'm going to poison the water supply. I'm bribing people at Chick-fil-A to give you wrong orders.
That does not seem like that's abuse.
This is abuse right here. This is abuse right here.
I don't see it.
So if you don't,
physically harmful.
I was assaulted and arrested at New Beginnings, Garland, Texas, by police for attending a domestic violence support group.
That was before I became.
But if someone's reporting to abuse to you and you see someone threatening to poison the water supply,
and where was this at? New Beginnings
in Garland, Texas.
Garland. How long ago was this?
It was a while.
A while ago, and you never reported it to anybody.
I did. Internal affairs. They covered for it.
Okay, so
that shows official oppression.
Okay.
And that's evidence of multiple different jurisdictions. You saw I sent the threat of the water, the poison of the water supply. First, you said it was a crime and that could be reported. Then you retracted. That's a form of psychological abuse. Like last time, you said that you would report my daughter's abuse, had me do that long drawn out report, then took it back. I'm taunted that way. I'm just expressing. If I'm expressing to you that people taunt me like that, they have me do reports, say they'll report it in malice, and then take it back. Then play mind games, saying they'll report it, knowing that they had no desire to report my abuse because they're enlisted in it.
And that's why I was asking more about the dates.
I did. I gave you the dates. You saw that the water supply was being poisoned. You said that it was a bottle that smelled weird. Then we went out there. Then you said that
it smelled like the plastic.
And then we went out there and then you said it smelled bad.
Sulfur.
Then they're not saying it's sulfur. You're saying that. They're saying that they're getting someone out here to treat it. You're demanding that it's sulfur.
I'm just saying that's my suspicion.
It's their water. They're not saying that.
Well, I don't know what they're. That's just my.
I just thought it was peculiar that it's their water and they're not saying that. But you came from nowhere and you're demanding to know what's going on with these people's property and how they're getting someone else to check it. But you're demanding that giving cover up for why that water smells putrid like that. So if this is really not beneficial as it hasn't been all these years, this is abusive, ma'am. For you to have excuse for things that put your other safety at risk. This is why I thought this man even threatened some things that are to cause the apocalypse. All the abuse of power that I was seeing, I didn't know if he was really going to do it. I reported it to the Northern District Court. Everywhere I come in contact with is covering for his crimes, every level of government. So I was actually scared that he was actually going to do it because everyone covered for his crimes, including the Northern District Court. I actually thought that there was a possibility that the world would end. Because everywhere that I could not fathom that all these people would be minions and be brainwashed. And then they want to, say that I'm mentally ill when they sound ridiculous and strategizing avenues to cover for this man. So my safety, if others don't care about their safety being put at risk, why in the world would they care about my safety being put at risk? So ma'am, this is abuse and I've had to endure it years. So are you saying that you're not going to validate my experience being in a crisis that jeopardizes my safety and I have to get mental health treatment that disregards that I'm being violated and I have to be treated on delusion so this man can stay free?
Did not say that.
Okay, well, I would like to get treatment on how women that are being victimized and violated in a domestic abuse crisis on how that is detrimental to their mental health, and it causes anxiety, depression, and other kind of things.
You're
I would like to
right.
be treated on that
You're right. So,
and validated on the
okay.
fact that no one deserves to threaten to poison my water supply.
You're right. No one deserves what you experience. You don't deserve that. And yes, it can cause depression. What you've been through, the domestic violence, it can it can affect depression. It can affect anxiety. And it seems like that's what you want to work on. You want to work on the depression and anxiety, not what they're saying, not the delusions. We're not going to say that you want to work on depression
That's abusive.
and anxiety.
That's abusive to slander me with delusions to cover for this man.
I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to slander you on delusions.
I'm saying that record is slander and that's abusive.
Well,
like all other records I've ever had.
Duly noted. I will try to get that straightened out with the provider so they don't accuse you of having delusions.
Right, since everyone has seen the information, and that is malpractice, and I don't know why they are not considered accessory.
It's not delusion. Those are things that you've experienced.
Right, but there's every location I'm at is stating their delusions to cover for them.
Yeah, and that's sad that you experienced that from other providers. That's
no, this provider's here.
Well, it's sad that you've experienced that anywhere.
Right, everywhere.
I'm going to talk to my supervisor to get that part out of your treatment plan. That way it's not on there taunting you. Right. I think that's the big problem. It's there written in...
Right, and I'm being treated to cover for my abuser and malice, which is a malpractice lawsuit, accessory charges, and all kind of other charges, conspiracy charges.
And we don't have to talk about those things. We can talk about what you just mentioned.
That's a play with words, ma'am. We don't have to talk about those things. That's abuse, and that's a form...
If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it.
You're saying that we don't have to talk about the fact that they committed crimes and put false information in reports to conceal this man's crimes and slandered me. That's a form of abuse, and that experience is not being validated. And you have evidence of it, and it hasn't been violated all these years.
You can talk about it. Yeah, that's what I meant.
But we would need to discuss the fact that there are delusions, and it was not right for them to slander me in those mental health records, as well as every other record that I've had in my mental health file. That's abusive, to be my abuser to taunt me and play mind games, and I'm begging for my life, and then they cover for him and say they're delusions. Not only is it abusive, I don't see why that wouldn't be accessory charges to his crimes in all these different environments. Like I said, the tricky part is it's proven that I repeatedly experience this over and over. And what these locations demand is arrest by kidnapping, put-outs, and demanding cover up for his crimes is a violation of my rights, and I don't see why that would make them conspirators in it. And our army is full of people being conspirators in domestic abuse. Deceiving themselves and pretending that while psychologically abusing someone, gaslighting them, taunting them, tormenting them, that they're not accomplices to the abuse. And trying to deceive others that they're not accomplices.
Well, let me keep you posted on the water. You said they're going to come out here and fix it.
We're not talking about the water, but I'm saying that, so what is going to be the benefit of seeing you? So the scam is now that we can't leave, now that I'm all dressed up. The scam is that my abuser says that he sent the email and he was controlling you guys. You claimed that he's not. Now you're withholding even more services when I was barely even getting services to begin with. So I don't know how to combat that everywhere I'm at is being controlled by.
Okay, so... You said you want help getting a job. I can talk to you about jobs that you want.
But there's no protection against him having setting up my job to terminate me when he's mad, or calling me, interrupting me, reporting him, starting arguments, slandering me, degrading me, publicly humiliating me. There's no consequences for him, so he just does the same thing over and over. I was going to try to go to school since everyone wants to be in cahoots with my abuse. My ID came up missing from nowhere. I've had it. My ID didn't come up missing before I was targeted. Yeah, I find it highly peculiar that I want to go to school and I'm registered to go to school, and then they stage that I have
So you don't have an ID?
No.
Okay. I can help you try to get that ID.
Well, the problem with that is they scammed to a warrant for me trying to report my daughter's abuse at CPS.
Going back, have you ever had an ID?
Going back, I said this is a form of abuse, so I don't know what to do. Because if you don't want to know that they scammed a warrant for my arrest and take my freedom and threaten have a warrant for my arrest for reporting child abuse, you're not going to really benefit me. This is abuse. This
Again,
is not mental health treatment. You don't have my best interest at heart like no one else I have been has.
again, I do have your best interest at
No,
heart.
because you're covering for child abuse again. You're covering for the fact that a warrant was put out my arrest. I was given a ticket for reporting my daughter's abuse at South Central Patrol. And then it turned into a warrant when I was in jail on false charges for reporting her abuse at CPS in Arlington. The same child abuse that you or no other party that I come in contact with will investigate.
Again, that happened years ago. I have nothing. I have no control over that, Kiana. I have no control over what.
Well,
happened
back to everyone else is covering for crimes that I come in contact with, including you. This is a misdemeanor charge. So back to the fact that they put the warrant on for my arrest when I was in jail on the false charges. I tried to turn myself in. They wouldn't let me. Said it disappeared and I couldn't. Then it was a warrant again when my abuser was mad and my ID came up missing. My things come up missing in places that I know I'm being violated. That people are abusing too much power, taking my things in avenues that they shouldn't. Going into my property and my apartment and different other avenues, which I know isn't realistic, so I have to prove it. That someone would be allowed to abuse this much power. Down to that Jason raped your ASS, that's not realistic, so I can't report it. That I'm sitting at home and sexually assaulted.
Again, that happened years ago. I have no control.
You don't know when it happened. You don't know when it happened, ma'am.
You said it happened in 2018, 2011.
I didn't tell you when the rape happened, ma'am. When did what they tell you?
You didn't tell me anything about the rape.
Right, but you said that they happened years ago. So I'm trying to
the child abuse stuff.
I don't know why you would disregard rape.
Okay, so when did the rape happen?
You don't care about it, ma'am. It's irrelevant. So nonetheless, I think that, this is kind of stressing and it's abuse. So I'd like to take a break. Okay. Because it's abusive for someone to, on the other end, that their main objective is to taunt you, play mind games, and cover for crimes. Okay. So I'd like to take a break and then have all dressed up and can't go anywhere again. And then another scam that there's policies changed to exclude me from services that I haven't got in 10 years. Okay, ma'am. So if we can take a break, I gather my weddings. It's a disappointment that he can come into all my property, everywhere I'm at, and enlist them to be abusers. And nothing's repeatedly done. Okay, well then I'll talk to you later. Let me just gather my bearings because my mental health treatment is abusive and it wears me out. Okay. But people demand that I get violated by mental health providers to live on properties, get put out. So I haven't been able to stop it, but it's abuse. So let me build myself up from this abuse.
Okay. Well, you have a good rest of the day.
Okay, you too.
And then I'll call you to schedule some time when you're ready to meet.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Well, I'll outside of the mental, so you said that you get positives. So you said that you would see what you can do and not being slandered in the mental health records. So I would like something on, dealing with the domestic abuse crisis, building up your self-esteem. Okay. So I can be at least mentally more compatible to deal with being violated by everyone I come in contact with.
So that's a goal that you have.
Yes.
You want to be
proactive in mental health.
And you want to have strategies to build up your self-esteem.
Yes, okay. And strategies to deal with, abusers, abusing power, and gaslighting and mind games and psychological abuse that they enlist armies to commit. Crimes they commit.
I can help you with that. I can help you build up self-esteem.
And then, but you have to let me sit in the abuse situation and not get treatment on trauma and all that. I have to sit in that.
I can help you with the trauma part too.
Okay, for trauma for being an abuse, because I've never received it.
Okay, I can help you cope with the trauma, deal with the trauma, and avoid being re-traumatized again. Those are things.
It's not a possibility to avoid being traumatized. Where everywhere I'm at is in being in cahoots with it.
So that's what I want you to do with the journal.
Okay.
So with that journal I just gave you, there's a
but not on each location that I'm at wants me has homework for me. I was trying to give you homework as my case manager, and not everywhere I'm at throws it back on me to as a strategy to deprive me of services they're supposed to be offering.
Yes, you gave me homework.
Right, the homework that I wanted to interrupt being violated by mental health providers is something to deal with trauma and traumatized with everyone I come in contact with. Okay. Everywhere I'm at wants to contribute to domestic abuse. Okay. So if you can give me strategies on coping with being a domestic abuse survivor.
Yes.
And
I will bring some strategies on how to cope with being a domestic abuse survivor next week. Okay.
Okay.
I have some tools for that.
And dealing with the trauma.
Yes, I will have
everyone I come in contact with.
I have some tools for that. I will bring you those tools.
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
That's my homework that I'm giving that's my homework is to bring those tools to you.
Okay, I already have a journal. I keep detailed journals already.
Okay. So I'm glad you have a journal. This is just an extra journal. What I want you to do in the journal I gave you, every day, every time you experience anything, good, bad, or ugly, write it in the journal.
I already do that, ma'am.
Bring those journals with you. Bring those journals with you to these sessions so we can talk about what you wrote.
I don't want to communicate it because my abuser enlists parties to stalk me.
That's fine. We don't have to do that.
Just like when that lady found out that she asked me if I want to go to accounting school, what I want to go to school for. I have an email right now saying that accounting. So my mental health providers have been my abuser's minions, and they picked me for him. And then that's how they were able to steal the ID and do that, so I couldn't go to school. Now he knows what I'm going. I have emails right now stating that he's contacted all the local schools and places in my environment, and there's going to be problems. So my mental health providers picked me for him so he can strategize his next attack. So I don't want you to know what's in my journal because I have not been safe with my mental health providers.
Your journals are your privacy. We're not going to do the journal.
And I'm just not quite certain on why all these crimes are repeatedly ignored by my mental health providers, even though it's a misdemeanor charge. They're not doing their mandatory reporting. But nonetheless, ma'am, this is traumatic, as well as all my mental health sessions. I'm just trying to prove it. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so what I'm going to do next week...
I would like to end it, and then you can text me what you're going to do.
Okay.
Because this is abuse.
I will call you.
Okay.
We'll schedule the next appointment.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too.